Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Jason with JR Custom Designs. Um, this video, I'm going to go over some stuff with the air assist on, or to use with your Boss laser. I'll show you some of the stuff that I used and how I set it up. I'm just going through and making sure I got all the pages I want to show everybody. Trying to see. Now the stuff I'm going to go over, like I said, is just mine. It's what I've used, and it's been working well for me. There are some other things that you can do to make improvements, but for the most part, sorry. For the most part, it's just going to be up to you what you want to use. There are so many things that you can use for this or not use. It really doesn't matter. It all boils down to personal preference. Sorry, just trying to get the chat up. Just bear with me a second. Alright, so that's all. Yeah, see there's no viewers up there. That's fine. That'll just give me some time to look up some stuff. If you can hear me and everything's good, just let me know in the chat. I just want to make sure I got everything up and running. Like I said, I've been working on trying to get this to function properly, and it's kind of been a trial and error kind of thing. Alright. Alright, so once again, I'm gonna go over some of the stuff for the air system. I'm gonna switch you over to my phone. I'm gonna take you out and show you my air system. Don't mind the mess. comes out and runs down the beam, and then what it does, it runs over to a split. I have an air gun. Jeez, dusty. I got an air gun with just a regular air, like a paint gun sprayer filter, to filter the air going to that, so that way when I'm spraying off my equipment, the moisture doesn't reach the equipment. And then also it's going through a 2-stage particulate and water separator. And for as long as I've had this, which is probably about 6 months so far, no water has gotten past here into the 2nd stage. So I would say that's pretty good. It also has a regulator. It's not the best because it goes by 20s, but that's how I regulate the pressure into my machine. Then I bought some blue 6mm plumbing and run it all the way back. And I'll kind of show you where it goes if you haven't looked at it yourself already. Give me a second, I gotta move some stuff out of the way here. As you can tell, I don't prep for these videos, but now all that comes into back here, and this is where I have all the extra wires and my Ethernet and the USB. But your air, let's see that if I can get it. Alright, I can't get the light to come on. But anyways, this is your air valve. So when you hit start, this relay opens, allowing air to come out. So here's the air in that comes from my regulator. Then it goes into here. Now, if you're wanting to regulate the pressure yourself, you can do that. You can just bypass this. You can get a female 6mm coupler, airline coupler, and then take the line off of both ends and just put them together. And then that way, when the air comes in, it bypasses this valve. It's just not a recommendation, but just something that you can do. Especially if you're in a bind and say your valve quits, and if your valve quits and you can't use it, and it prevents you from using a laser, because obviously, you know, if you don't have air, it's not a good thing. So but the stuff that it comes with, usually they come with the pancake compressor, the Porter cable, I believe is what I got. The Porter cable, the smaller machines come with a little gold air pump. It's really junk for what you're doing with it. There's no regulator to speak of. It's just straight whatever that pump can put out, which is probably not very much. I've never put one up to a gauge to see what it reads, but if I had to guess, it's not much. But definitely when you're getting into, I mean, you're spending this kind of money, conservatively $8,000 to $30,000 or whatever the big flatbeds cost. You know, if you're spending that kind of money on a laser, it's worth spending $500-600 to get the right stuff to prevent damage from happening to your machine. Now, let's see. All right, so we go here, here's the, I don't want about Lowe's. Alright, so this here is the Cobalt 26 gallon Quiet Tech. It's really good. I have it in my other room and can barely hear it turn on, and even if I'm in the room I can still talk and not have to worry about it. I got it on sale for, I think it was $239 or something like that. But even still, $300 is pretty good for what you're getting. It maintains, I can get it to maintain 80 psi consistently. I can get it to do 90 psi if I need it. It'll handle it for a while, but then I kind of worry about the compressor heating up because it's just not designed for that. But for the kind of volume you're putting out anyways if you're cutting. Now this here is the pneumatic system I got, and you can use this. You can get, they have several different combinations of this, the different styles and everything. This works great for me. Like I said, I've never had air get past the first stage, or not air, but water get past the first stage into the second stage, let alone come out the nozzle. So it works really well for the setup that I have. Yours may differ. It just depends on what kind of system you're running. And to kind of piggyback or backtrack a little bit to what I was talking about with the rubber hose versus the air pipe. Now I'm down here in Florida. I don't know where most of you are from, but just being down here in Florida, there's a lot of humidity. The temperatures fluctuate off and on, and the problem that I would have really anywhere, I don't even think it has to do with Florida, but just my concern is if you have an all metal plumbing system, that whole system is a means for condensation. So basically what I'm saying is, or what I mean is throughout that whole pipe, throughout that whole plumbing that you have set up, depending on the temperature of the air moving through it and the temperature of the pipe on the outside, you could potentially have condensate all the way through that pipe. Plus, you know, having that, it's going to help push water through. As it condensates, it pulls more, kind of like an avalanche effect, and all that stuff's going to get pushed to your machine. That's why I recommend, whether you do the solid piping or rubber hosing, to use a copper coil. I'd say probably 8 to 10 inches in diameter and about 1.5 to 2 foot tall would be sufficient. Now if you're in colder climates up north, you get longer periods of colder climate, you might want to consider maybe making that tube a little bit longer, that coil a little bit taller, just to allow more of that condensate to build up there and then settle back into your tank than to condensate elsewhere and damage your equipment. Now as far as the nozzle goes, when your air comes into the nozzle, you have your nozzle here, and every nozzle has this adjustable screw. Now if you choose to bypass your switch, this would be your air control. So this right here would regulate all your pressure coming from your regulator, if you have one, and that would be a consistent or constant air coming out of the nozzle. It's not really a bad thing, but it is something to watch out for, because again, the more the air is moving, the more it can condensate, the more moisture can build up, and you can put a lot of wear and tear on your compressor having to run all the time. But it is definitely something you can bypass, and you can control there in conjunction with a regulator of some sorts. Now you can put that regulator here like I did, which is just quick and easy to go from the machine to the regulator and adjust it. I thought about mounting one on the front here, and then running a tube to the back so I can just do adjustments there. But I mean, this having it right here is just as easy, and it's been convenient. The only problem I ran into is when I put my fiber laser here. Yeah, when you bleed off the water from the cans, you got to be careful. I put it in an old cup, old laser cup. Just stick it up to it and bleed the water out. Whatever comes out, comes out. But yeah, so that's my setup. That's my advice as far as what you may or may not want to do. That's completely up to you on how you want to do your own setup. But I would recommend to anybody that if you get the Boss setup that comes with it, I would not use it any longer than you have to. Whether it be the gold compressor, the little thing it's about the size of a football, and the pancake compressor that comes with the bigger machines, which is the Porter cable. It's a good unit for engraving, but when you're doing a lot of cutting like I do, and I use a lot of air because I'm usually cutting through some pretty thick stuff, I went ahead and upgraded to the Cobalt QuietTech 26, and that thing has been flawless since I got it, and has worked really well. I haven't had to worry about it. The noise level, if you've ever used a pancake compressor, you know what the noise levels are with that thing. This compressor I wouldn't mind having in the same room with me. It's just more convenient for me to have it out there. So when I'm using air tools and stuff out there, it's just more convenient in that fashion. But it also keeps the noise down with it being in another room, obviously. So I hope that answered any questions you might have had and addressed any concerns. Like I said, I showed some of the things like the pneumatic air system here, which is and this is exactly what I got. Like I said, there's different versions, and then here's again the Cobalt QuietTech 26 gallon. Well worth the money. I think I spent about $500 between the compressor and the air lines and all that stuff to get it up and running to where it was where I wanted it to be and functioning how I wanted it to function. It's been that way ever since, and I'll continue to do it as long as it holds out, and hopefully they have something to replace it when that time comes. But well, that's all I got for this video. I hope everybody has a good rest of your weekend and a happy Easter tomorrow. And we'll be back bright and early Monday. I got a couple videos to put out. I have a couple jobs I'm doing. I want to go ahead and show you guys how I did them and everything. If you like the content that I'm putting out, the information, please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell if you're on YouTube. And that way you'll know when new stuff comes out. And as always, this channel is driven by you, the viewers. If you have any questions or comments or concerns or issues that you want to get addressed, feel free to ask. I'll answer the best of my ability. If I don't have the answer, I'll butt heads with some of the guys I know on here that you know, between us all, we can probably figure it out, help you out. But other than that, again, have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Monday probably.